That kind of reminded me of a line from an old Highlander episode.
Hello.
Would you like us to
Hello.
say?
I'm talking to you right now.
That kind of reminded me of a line from an old
John Cena.
Highlander episode.
Hello.
Would you like us to
Hello.
say?
I'm talking to you right now.
Maude, Twitch can't hear you.
They're saying no audio on Twitch.
On the stream, yeah.
I didn't unmute. Every time I do what I think is a kick-ass intro opener, I thought that was pretty good as well. And I'm like, Maud, you're crushing. There's something. Now I'm going to be like, welcome to Maude's Movement. It's Oathbringer. I'll try and do it again. Sorry. Hi, everyone. Welcome. What really threw me off is that this Maude little button was showcasing because Discord can hear it. Discord knows that I've been talking this whole time. Welcome to Maude's Book Club, everyone. It is part 3 of our Oathbringer discussion. We are going full spoilers today. Oathbringer being the book 3 of the Stormlight Archives by Brandon Sanderson. We've been really enjoying this book. I was talking about what some of the perks that the members get. One of them is hearing all of that when I'm muted, broadcasting. So members plus sitting in there got to hear the intro twice, and they're the ones that got to tell me. Nerdy by example, thanks so much for the follow. Erd the Barbarian, Erd the Albonian. Thank you so much for resubscribing for 10 months. Toaster Poster, 47 months. You OG you, and you're in the chat as well. Some of the other perks that you get if you're a $5 member, you get the show chat. So during this show, you get to chat to me and I get to see the thread there. Also, a lot of the things that we talk about in the show, we post references in there as well. You also get access to the show document. In it, you can see my train of thought. I shouted out KP Dubs and Vaden for adding some beautiful things in that document as well. Vaden put in the plot of the part 3 that we read. KP Dubs put in the epigraphs of all the start of every single chapter. Vaden also put in some great quotes. You have access to that doc if you are a member. So you can add your thoughts in there. We color code it. So shout out red Vaden, blue KP Dubs, purple Maude. Any other color is yours to choose. Thank you to the members. Plus, we're all on a Discord video call right now. Shout out to Baz, Tim, Colleen, Jeff, KP, Lisa, Jimmy, Robin, Vaden, Katie's in here, Darren showed up. I think I got everyone. And Robin's wearing a Pokemon hoodie. Show me this t-shirt. What is this t-shirt? Is Pokemon? It's Pikachu!
Pokemon it's Pokemon Go from when they did the Pokemon Go day for baseball. So I unfortunately had to go to a baseball game, but I just played Pokemon the whole time.
Yes. Anyone playing Pokemon at the moment? The Dynamaxes are going off. They keep chewing up my raid passes though. And I'm sick of being a broke bitch because of raid passes. So Pokemon Go, Niantic, if you're listening, put raid passes in a random spin every now and then. Maybe we spin our 50th stop and we get a raid pass. Like, come on. I'm talking about remote raid passes. I don't want to leave the house. But your t-shirt looks great. We're all in a video call. I really do feel like that's probably the god tier way to enjoy Moore's Book Club. We've built such an amazing community. We've all become friends in there, and having FaceTime is always amazing as well. I just think it just adds to the experience. And because we do 3, maybe 4 streams every single month, we do hangouts before the show and sometimes usually after the show. Also, not this time, Maud got a scoot. Maud got to fly. This has been I had to change this an hour earlier as well. It's probably why the views are tanked. Sorry, everyone. We went an hour early. Let me just pop it in the Discord real quick. This is just a little announcement. This is you, Captain, speaking. Here. Everyone. Live now. Oh, that sounds like pickle. Fuck. Which is an inside joke if you catch my gaming streams. I relate to Donut in that I like to type in all capitals all the time. I want everyone to think that I'm screaming. Aaron, that wasn't for you. That was just poor timing on my behalf, and I apologize for that. Thank you so much for using your Prime for 38 months. I really appreciate that. Also, apparently I was a week late recognizing Darren's haircut. And if you understand that recognizing when a man gets a haircut is my superpower, there's a flaw in my armor, basically. So more inside jokes if you join Members Plus. Also, I made like that new start. So when we start the stream, you're like, what's more doing? Yeah, I'm hanging out with Members Plus. So we're ramping that up a little bit. Listen, is book good? We're going full spoilers now that it's part 3. We've finished the book. Is book good? Who's going to? Jeff didn't give it a 5. No, I'm kidding. Jeff, you gave it a 4 or a 4.25. Can you explain what you thought about Oathbringer? And I swear to God, if you say it's fine, I'll meet you.
No, it's good.
It's good. Where's the cheers sound effect from Discord? Yay!
It's good. It's yeah, not probably my favorite Stormlight Archive. Although I will say, like, as far as like consequential things that you find out, this is like the book. Right?
Yeah.
Like, this is huge. So from that perspective, I like it a lot. But yeah, no, it's really long.
It's really long. I agree. It is really long. Who's given it a 5? Lisa did. Lisa, tell me why you gave it a 5.
I just enjoy this series so much. There's always so much going on, and the more you learn, the more you also get opened up to trying to figure out other things that are going on. The characters for me are top tier, so that's why I just love it.
I agree with you. Lisa, we usually have very similar thoughts on books, actually. We've got very similar tastes as well, so not always will I disagree with you, but not today. It's not today. I absolutely agree. Byla Toes in the chat saying book incredible. 4.5 out of 5. I'm going to need someone to... Katie, I think I need you to mute for me, love. I've got a little bit of background noise happening there. KB Dub says this book answered a lot of questions. Darren says I liked it more this time through. What time is this time for you, Darren?
I think this is number 3. I think.
Yeah.
This is I liked reading it after having finished the series, and so when you know what is coming, it's kind of cool to see the
lead up
that are hints towards things that come later.
Was there anything that you caught this time round that you didn't another time?
There were a few things that sort of meant more knowing how the rest of the series goes, and just sort of there are definitely breadcrumbs and things that are there that you get to see that are like, oh, this was noted a little bit here in a comment or here or an interlude or something like that. So there's lots of breadcrumbs for future.
To put you on the spot completely, do you have one in your pocket? Of the about the mini foreshadowing.
A lot with my Kindle. I will have to look and see. Although I kind of don't want to because it's spoilers for future books that I don't want to spoil.
Oh, that kind of future.
Yeah.
I'm
So
thinking
I've
like
read,
something in chapter 22 happened in 88.
Like book 5, like book 5 stuff.
Oh,
So
then
it's-
no.
it's-
Wow.
Yeah, definitely, there's definitely hints towards stuff that you'd see like, oh, that's a cool little note that you noticed, and they're not super blatant, but they're there.
So you're probably
So
wondering why my face is like this. And that's because if you're writing 1,200-page books, I don't want it to be better the second time. I want it to be one and done. I want it to be like, wow, we really did that. We just read the biggest book together and it's done. Hey, hallelujah, fantastic. And
I liked it the first time too, though. So it was still good rereading it. I wasn't bored, or I didn't really skim past through everything, but it was kind of just neat to see all that stuff that once the mystery of things is revealed, and you get to see the hints and the foreshadowing.
Colleen is in the same boat. I think I get more out of it reading it again. Colleen, how did that amplify the experience for you this time? Biloto says better every time. Okay.
I picked up more things, and like with Darren, seeing how the pieces fit together, and I'm kind of afraid to say very much because I apparently dropped a big spoiler in Discord. Sorry, Katie. And I thought it had already been obvious, and
I actually thought it was as well. I thought that was pretty obvious also. So that wasn't like a penny drop moment. I was like, well, yeah, they're clearly the indigenous people of the lands. Like that for me was quite obvious. And I guess it's like they never really talked about Parshman being so different to humans and like who was here first or like what the roles were. But it definitely felt like, the humans were the aggressor in that situation always. And why would they have Parshmen as slaves if they haven't sort of like colonized their land? So I feel like for me that was somewhat happening. What I don't understand is how humans brought the Voidbringers, or humans are the Voidbringers. That is the murky area for me, which I will absolutely try to unpack and get into. I'm just watching Trisha. I get notified because we're Steam friends. I get notified every single time she flips between a game, and she is pinging back between Marvel Rivals and Claire Obscure like 4 times. So if you need to check in on Trisha to see if she's having a seizure, please do, because it is back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. And I'm not sure, that just is not Trish behavior. And then also—
she's having technical issues. That's why she's going back.
There it is. Okay, I knew there was something happening. I knew something was up. It is her computer that is seizing up instead. She's no longer streaming, says KPW. She didn't raid? Can someone go on her Twitch and just be like, girl, what's Maude got to do to get a little love? Her computer died. Oh no. She's trying to fix her Expedition 33 save file. Oh no. Oh dear. Okay.
What? You're not the only one who has computer issues.
Yeah, the fact that Trisha's getting them, that's a code red for sure. For sure. Going back through the chat, KPW saying, I'm noticing things in this one from books 1 and 2. I already know what I want to I already know that I want to reread this series. I just need to figure out when. Yeah, when are you 25 books ahead of your reading goal? That's when you just hit the Stormlight again.
Maybe October, when I skip all the horror books we do.
Oh, you're not going to do any of the— KP, if I have to do horror books, you have to do horror books. Them's the rules.
No, that's your rules.
Okay, well, I'm enforcing them. Is it that you just don't like horror? You like the Dresden Files.
Those aren't horror.
No, they're not. That's like my little loophole caveat. It's like, but it's supernatural. Oh, but it's like just an epic series that I don't think I've listened to for 3 years. So I'm itching to get back into that one. It's kind of like Buffy. I try to rewatch Buffy like every 4 or so years, and I can like feel— I don't know if you guys have this, like when it's been too long, if it's been too long between like a handful of friends and me, between conversations, I'll get like a ping. It's like, ding, you haven't spoken to this person in like 2 months, you're due. I'll get like a little, and it's, I don't know, inbuilt. And I have that with Buffy, and I have it with Dresden and all the things that I like. Okay, we got a little bit of discourse happening between Occult Stool and Pianki as well. I want to read this. Occult Stool says, my hot take. I am not a fan of him tying in the whole Cosme. I want to do occult justice now that I know, Jace, what you sound like, because you've run one of our D&D tabletop RPG campaigns. My hot take. I'm not a fan of him tying in the whole Cosme. This series does not require cameos from your other series. You know what? Because I haven't read Warbreaker, I don't really recognize this, but I do realize that everyone else is foaming at the mouth when I jump online to like the Reddits, etc., when I do my recaps. And it's characters that it has not even been like, sign, hi, this is a character that you should know and recognize. It's so subtle. So when people are like, oh my God, this character, I was like, there's someone? I didn't know that. So I'm sure that when I keep reading the other Cosme books, I'll be like, oh, sick. I'm just not having that in this moment. But I don't mind that kind of fan service from time to time. Bilato says, in this reread, I found several spots of foreshadowing book 5 from The Way of Kings. Cool. I see. That's really impressive. That's someone who's mapped it out, and I always appreciate that. Vaden says, I really enjoyed the character arcs from this book, especially for Dalinar, Adolin, Renarin, Shallan, and a bunch of people from Bridge 4. Agree. KP Dub says, I especially love the chapters that jumped around several POVs. It will ping all in that one chapter. Bing, 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 bing. Bianchi says, it might still be basically cameos at the early stage of the Cosme, but it gets more involved and important as time goes on in the universe. That's not discourse at all. I just read Occult saying, maybe I'll hold back on some judgment. And I was like, oh, that's got to be juicy. No, it's... TLDR, the story unfolds. Got it. Bilato says, humans do not hear the rhythms of Roshar, so void of rhythm. Oh, got it. Jeff says, I'm working through... Jeff says, I'm working through Dresden, not loving it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Occult says, I'm bad about not contacting friends. Out of sight, out of mind. Keep It Up says, same Maude. I have almost zero reference to the Cosme, and I don't feel any need. I don't feel I need any for this book. Yeah, it's not impacting my enjoyment of it at all. And I love that other people are like losing their shit over a few of these other characters. Yeah. Keep It Up says, I do love Easter eggs though. Forlorn Knight says, Stormlight Archive is like the Avengers movies. I definitely felt that at the end of this book. Like, there was assembling that was happening. There are others that orbit it, and at some point big crossovers happen, which I can understand being daunting. Jeff says, it's for the Sanderson super fans. It doesn't really matter to the rest of us. And I do love that it's not negatively impacting us either. Colleen says, chapter 120, that could have been its own book. Even 119 leading up to it. Oh my gosh. And that's the Sanderlanche. I was like, because I was falling asleep, not because I wanted to fall asleep, but because it was late at night and I was trying to listen to as much as possible before going to sleep. And this thing is like going 100 miles an hour. We're pinging between points of views. You can actually like sense this massive climactic moment happening. And then I'm like, oh no, quick, go back. And I was like, oh no. And so that was really not the way to do this book justice. Don't recommend. But if I've missed things, it is not my fault. My brain just shut down for a bit. Hey, Greg, thank you so much for gifting 5 gift subs. We got one for Taki79, Jeff M, but Jeff with a J, Serial, O'Skiller, X-Men, and Occult. Occult, you got one. Already said thanks. That's what I mean. We're real nice around here. Vaden says also some really cool events came out about like... a catch, 11 gift subs. Brush Kid got what? Brush Kid's in here, I'm pretty sure. Well, Katie's in here. Alistair Crumble, Rivel, Insane Banana, Osiris Manpaw, Hop Machine, Main Ogre, Gaia Darling, Cloud F, Nath Hawker, I think, and the OG Royal Wee. Thank you so much for 11 gift subs. Catch. Oh, is that what had happened? Your throne was getting impeded on? Someone was encroaching? Are you going to? He's just. I thought you might have unmuted to. What did I do? Says Osiris. You just got gifted a sub thanks to Catch22. Gaia said thank you. Gaia, lovely to have you here. I'm at work, says Catch. Is your desk mouse pad? Yeah, it is. It's a Super Nintendo. It's a Super Nintendo. Beep boop boop. Why is Jeff saying no? It's not a Super Nintendo. It's just the original Nintendo. Maude. It's original. It's just the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now you've got to try and win your nerd cred back by naming 3 games that were only available on the NES. Duck Hunt. Super Mario Brothers original. And not Earthworm Jim. That was Super Mario. That was the SNES. Original. Legend of Zelda. First one that came out. Boom. Where is the round of applause? Tough crowd. Thank you. Whoo-wee. Woo, says Billy Sunrider in the comments. Fantastic. We are going through Is Book Good? We're rating it out of 5. If you haven't gotten your 5-star rating in, now is the time to do it. Who hasn't discussed their rating yet? Baz, did you give this one a rating? Baz, are you working? Am I interrupting you? Your headset looks cool. 2 thumbs up from Baz. Love it. KP, you giving this a 5?
I gave it a 5 out of 4 because I don't give 6s. There were several chapters towards the end where like it's going like 10 paragraphs, jump into a new POV, 10 paragraphs. I love those kind of books. So like those last like 150 pages, I was just like, give me more. I want another 500 pages. Let's go.
What is it about Oathbringer though? Because I feel like that happened in the other book. So why did Oathbringer break your system? And be proud that a book broke your system. That's such an accolade for a book.
Well, if I post in every single chapter in Fable, and a lot of times I'm like, I bet this will happen. And I love when I'm right, but I love even more when I'm wrong because I'm like, oh, I didn't see that coming. That was great. So there was a lot of that, or a lot of where like they end a chapter and I'm like, I was right. And then the next page is like, no, I changed my mind. And so it definitely threw me 3 or 4 more times. Yeah, Dalinar stuff was great. I just it did answer a lot of questions, and it is starting to tie in the thousands of questions about the universe, the characters, the history, the lore, the mythology that we've been trying to figure out here for the first 2,500 pages. So I liked all those things, and see where it goes from here.
You're locked in? You're going to be doing all the Cosme?
Well, about that, because Mistborn for me was good, but I gave all those maybe like 4 out of 5, and I like this much more than Mistborn.
I think I like this book more too. And I feel like what was a struggle for me was, and this is why Dark Age, and this is why what happens when you're an emotional rater when it comes to books, Dark Age was not fun. The book 5 from Red Rising, that was just, Darren's just smugly smiling because that's his favorite book. I found that to be very difficult to read because it absolutely sapped all of the hope out. And I found with Mistborn, it is Vin and an entire sort of class of people constantly being trodden on. Like the level of oppression that you face from their point of view over 3 books, where it's like any win, any time they get a little bit ahead, it's like 5 steps back. And that for me, you know, book after book, character after character, time after time, like almost feels like I can't breathe. Like it's almost like anxiety inducing to read, which there's a lot to unpack with that, I'm sure. But for me, as reading a book for a form of entertainment, that can kind of suck a lot of the fun out, even though it is brilliant storytelling. And I love, like, there's parts of Mistborn, like especially the world building and the magic system, that I thought was just next level. I really enjoyed Kelsey as a character. But there's something about this series where you just have fist pump fuck yeah moments, and I love that. And I feel like there were several, and it doesn't cheapen it at all. It's done in such a way, whereas the reader, I'm just like, let's go. Lisa says, I think emotionally I was more into the Mistborn series. This is a close second. Lisa, tell me about Mistborn and the impact that one had on you.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just because I did that first and that was like my first intro to Brandon Sanderson. But I was so obsessed with those characters and like so emotionally invested in everything. Like I cried, I don't even know how many times in that trilogy. So like I think I was just more invested to the characters. I am in this series too, but it doesn't get me as emotionally as that one did.
I know that Sazed was one of your favorite characters because every time Sazed gets mentioned, you're like, "My man." Yeah, she's just so brilliant character. KP Dub saying, I think the other thing about Mistborn for me is that I was just getting into this club and needed to speed read all 3 to be ready to participate in the club for book number 3. I just remember so little about it. I may need to reread. Yeah, power reading through a series, it's hard to kind of have it absorb and enjoy it as well because you're just trying to get through it. Billy Sunrider says, Yasna went so hard at the end of the book. Have you changed your tune when it comes to Elsecaller powers? A couple of sessions ago, you didn't seem too enthused by them, and I'm wondering if Yasna's badassery has changed your ideas there at all. Let me read you an excerpt of my notes that I had written about Yasna. I'm looking for the all caps because there's a lot of all caps moments in here. Oh, here we go. I was wondering, questions that I have now that the book is over. Yasna's reaction or lack thereof of Elikar's death. But the moments that we do have with her, absolute bonkery. Her fighting, she kicks ass. Using soul casting in combat brings a whole new level to all of this. Her saving Renarin, fucking legit, quality person. And then, of course, she's named Queen. Hello. That one was like a beautiful moment of disrupting the patriarchy because the answer was right there. And it's Shallan that's like, boys, the delivery of the line. Boys, have you ever thought that maybe this is the perfect person to do this? Yes, you're keeping your nepotism in line. Yes, you know, you're passing it on through a bloodline. So you're not disrupting too much here. But it doesn't have to be a dude. Dalinar doesn't like the political side of it. He doesn't want to be in meetings all day. He wants to be strategizing on the warfield. Adolin doesn't want that responsibility. And Shallan's like, babes, you totes don't have to. More power to you, sweetheart. Love your hair. And he's like, thanks, babes. I love those two. I will not hear slander about my babies. And the fact that Yasna, like, don't need no man, doesn't worship a god, and that has like ruffled so many feathers, but can come in, challenge people in these meetings, not take any bullshit from Amaram. Like in those meetings, she's like, sit down. You can't grovel to me. I will not take any of this horse shit you're throwing at me. She can handle all of those things. She loves research. She loves learning. Her and her mum are like, you know, basically running the scholars side of everything. Perfect candidate. I'm so glad that that's happened. KP Dub says she's been a Radiant for a while too, apparently. Well practiced. I don't know what she was doing in that Shadesmar, but she had some sort of like training montage in like a hyperbolic time chamber where time was going 4 times as slow there. And so she just came out like, who got the reference? I know Vaden did.
DBZ, yeah.
Yeah, a hyperbolic time chamber. Why? Make time slower so that you can train more and not waste the time. Brilliant. Really clever. But I love the way Yasna's Spren Ivory talks, says Billy Sunrider. What do you like about it? Oh, we got echoing from Discord, says Greg. I can't hear it in my earphones, so let's keep a little tab on that. Yasna went Super Saiyan. Oh, it was just your Twitch, says Greg. Good. Also, Greg says, I heard the R on that hello. 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 I can't hear it. It's just a word. It's Bilato saying, yes, queen. Okay, that's the perfect comment. So yes, I feel like now that we do the character point distribution, I feel like I'm 50% Yasna, 30% Shallan, minus the personality unsuredness, insecurities. She doesn't know who she is, so she's all of them. I'm a little bit Adolin. I'd like to think I'm a little bit Dalinar, a little bit Navani. That's my split. Tell me what everyone else's is. Who's the character you relate to the most? I know we did this last week, but it's always such an interesting conversation, I find. Billy says, Ivory's so deliberate with their syntax, and the voice for the narrator is awesome. Billy also says, Yasna, this is right. Somehow it is. It is not what makes sense, yet it is still right. How? How is this thing? I love that you come bearing quotes. Vaden says, I feel like I'm 50% Kaladin and 50% Renarin. I like that. Because fuck all the other characters, right? No, I'm kidding. What is it about those?
Kaladin is, I guess Kaladin in this case, I like. I feel like similar to him because first of all, he loves spear, great twist weapon.
And you're like everyone else. I fight with a spear all the time on the rig.
Yeah, spear, best weapon in the world. Gotta love it. And then also I just like his general personality in terms of strict focus on principles.
Why is the spear the best weapon?
Oh, because it's a lot of reasons. Historically, it's extremely useful for a lot of reasons. It's got a lot of versatility. It gives you reach. It gives you it's very easy to make. It's super cheap. It's like you make it out of anything. It's like it's very easy to do. And there's a lot of variations on it. Like swords, there's stuff you can do with it. But like spears and polearms in general, there's a huge amount of variety. You can do all sorts of like tactics you can't do with spear swords. So spears rule. Sorry, swords rule.
No, I love this. I love it. And I always have these sorts of conversations because I've really, really thought about it. So don't ever bring up the zombie apocalypse to me or what the best superpower is because I have spent years dissecting and thinking about it. So I love that. And I love it. It's like, why is the spear the best? Here are 7 reasons off the top of my head. Okay. Like I said, make the argument and you did. Well done.
And I like Renarin in general too. I feel like he's coming to his own. It took a while to get to, and he's had a different life than everyone else's. But I feel like now that he's kind of coming into his own, and I feel like he's just really. I love you, sweet boy. I love this guy. The way he talked to his dad when he was didn't even like him much. He was like, oh, the invalid. Yeah, he didn't even think about him and care about much, and he still cared about his dad because of the way his mother talked about him.
Aww.
And he was so damn sweet. I loved it.
And I think it's so funny because it's like, yeah, we didn't really get a lot of Renarin. And it's like, what we did see, though? We saw his father ignoring him. We see society ignoring him. So it kind of makes sense that the writing also somewhat ignores him. And then he kind of pops it. And how many times were you like, oh, that's right, Renarin. I forgot this guy was doing his thing. He'd just pop in as such a background character from time to time. So his moments were absolutely fantastic. Jay Bunt Rock says I'm 50% rock, 50% bunt. I appreciate the joke. KP Dub says I'm 40% Cal, 40% rock and 20% Renarin. I like that combo. Sprinkle says I'm 50% Dalinar, 50% Bridge 4. I love that Bridge 4 is in fact an entire unit in one. And then other people are talking about their favorite moments. Toaster Poster says, look, you know what? I actually probably relate to Patton the most. Oblivious about the world and pays attention sometimes. Disagree. I'm sure you've got more to you than Patton. Clever Girl says, I relate mostly to Kaladin and Shallan and then some of Navani. I see that. Forlorn Knight says, Tef's oath And Adelin's bond with Maya were my favorites. Oh, we got to talk about that. Bilato says I'm 50% Sabarial. 50%, sorry, hold on. 25% Rock, 25% Renarin. Bila, you just became the most interesting person in the chat. Like, what a split. That's fantastic. Forlorn is losing it over Maya as his KP dub, saying Maya, best girl in the whole damn Cosmere with best boy Adolin. Oh, yay! We have someone else who likes the best boy Adolin. Adolin, who's my little baked potato. Golden retriever. Colleen says, I like that Renarin comes into his own without changing who he is, but he is changing at the same time. How did Renarin's spren get corrupted? I missed that part. Did that happen off page? When we weren't looking? Because we weren't.
I don't think we know.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think we know that. That's one of the mysteries and why he's been so apart from everyone else. I mean, part of the reason.
I've got you.
That and the fact that.
Oh no, you go, Colleen.
Well, that and the fact that he's on the spectrum, of course, sets him apart. But yeah, I don't think we know. We just know that there are these corrupted spren, and we don't know why this one bonded with Renarin and had the reaction that it did, because usually they corrupt the person so completely.
Well, Elikar's wife, that was the only other time we really saw a corruption face to face, and she invited it in. There was a level of, I took things into my own hands. Elikar, you couldn't do it, so I have chosen power. Look at all the wonderful things that I've done, she says with glowing red eyes. I don't feel like Renarin would invite a corrupted spren in. I don't know if it was his spren. I thought it was Glyph was his spren's name, but it's Gliss. This is what the problem with listening to a book can be. I thought it was Ebby. It's Evie. Okay. There you go. Amaram also inviting a corrupt spren in for more power as well. Billy says, yeah, but the queen was fucking with an unmade though. It's a bit different than a corrupted spren, I think. Yeah. So that's an interesting kind of question then that we have. KP Up says, yeah, it almost seemed like Gliss sort of fought his way out of whatever corruption he had. The only thing I can think of is, if Renarin was just poking around where he didn't belong. We saw that the first ever unmade in the earlier parts of the book was hiding underneath the city. Others are taking over complete other cities. Renarin has figured out and someone has been communicating with it. Maybe it was like, I have answers for you, let me in. We're not sure, but something's happened there. And with that, Renarin has the ability to get stained glass window glimpses of the future as well. And I will say that moment where Renarin's seeing the future and we are not equipped with the information that the future isn't unshakable. And the way that Brandon goes back and forth to write it, it's leading up to Dalinar submitting. And you're waiting for it to happen. I don't know about anyone else here, but in that moment, I was just like, oh, this is the moment where we lose Dalinar. This is the moment where Dalinar, like Odin's side. What was that? Look, Baz! You didn't think I saw it, but I saw it. I always check faces to see if I can get any clues and hints, and I saw it. What was that one about, Baz?
Absolutely nothing. I just wanted to toy with you.
Oh, really? I was like, yoink,
yeah.
Found one. Okay. Clip that laugh, please. We'll get like an army of Baz's laughs at our disposal. An arsenal. We've got, but then we need, we need all of them now. I want them all, Basil. I will make you laugh and capture all of them. Ah, you're muted while laughing, and I know that was a good one. I could see shoulders moving.
That's only slightly creepy, Maude.
Who said that? Look, if you got a good laugh, I think I've shared this before. I don't go to comedy to see comedy. You might be funny as a comedian, great. But the funniest person in that room is the person with the most outrageous laugh, and that's why I'm there. And the best part is when they take a little too long to get the joke and it's quiet for like a considerable amount of time and then they start laughing. Oh, that feeds me. That is my Stormlight. I leave completely super sane after that. Jimmy, you're a comedian. Do people do that in your shows?
They've certainly done it before, of course.
That weird laugh, that someone who's just like, they cackle. I love it.
They have very like boisterous laughs, like Santa Claus laugh.
Oh, they literally ho ho ho.
The other people will laugh at their laughing.
Yeah, that other person, that's me. I laugh at the laugh. Like that's just the best part of it all. Christian Unpronounceable, thank you so much, and thank you for resubbing for 12 months. Happy 1 year. Occult Store says I love that too. The dolphin laugh is a great one. Oh, so good. Oh, we got, who's popping on in here? Vanessa's in here. Hi, love. Vanessa, I'm going to need you to mute only because I can hear the stream or me echoing. But if I've got you, Vanessa, what do you give this 1 out of 5? Is book good? Oh, sorry, I just put you on the spot. You've just come in. I haven't even given you a second to collect your thoughts. When you're ready, would you give this book out of 5? Is book good?
Oh, I would give it a 4. Just because I feel like I'm missing things. Like there's a big picture that I'm not quite getting all of it, but I may just not be paying enough attention.
Okay, are you listening to it or reading it?
Reading it.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, any questions that you might have, jot them down because I've got a few as well. Let's get through them. There's lots to talk about and we're already 50 minutes through because I couldn't not talk about laughs for a second. Trionyx Leet, thank you so much for the follow 3 minutes ago as well. Let's get through it. Questions I now have. Oops. I have dyslexia. We all know that about me. Yeah, it just comes out from time to time. My number one is where I will mix 2 phrases up. And they are not interchangeable. It changes the thing completely. I did one recently. Let's get the ball rolling and let's get something else started. Let's get the ball started.
Let's get the party started.
There's a word for that.
What's that called?
It's hold on. One of my coworkers did one this morning. It is called
Spoonerism.
Spoonerism. It's a spoonerism.
No, it's a malaphor. When you mix idioms, it's called a malaphor.
Malaphor is like me trying to say a metaphor or a syllable. Malaphor. That's like another one. Anyway, we've got so. Berkey also says malapropism. Colleen says, I know Renarin's arc from book 5 and I just want so much for the rest of you to get there. In due time, Colleen. In due time. It's just like, hurry up and read. You've got Rhythm of War to get through, which I barely hear anyone talk about. And maybe because it was like in between what we're currently reading and what the last book that's just been released. And then we have Wind of Truth. And can I just say, Wind and Truth is considerably larger than Rhythm of War. Like like an inch width difference. Good Lord. Actually, no, Catch was right. It is a malaphor. What? Catch is right. Technically, that's called a malaphor. All right, there we go. I think every book is larger than the last. Or, I don't know, Rhythm of War looks less than Oathbringer. Someone will do a page count check for them all. All right, let's get into it. Questions I have now that it's over. 1, the acceptance of Szeth. There is no dialogue between them or anyone understanding that he's actually been inducted by a herald and he's doing a training program. He just says, hey, I'm here to fight, and that's enough. Oh, cool. All through the first book, he's the pest. Like, he's the assassin. He tries to kill Elika. He tries to kill Dalinar. This guy is insane. He is so strong. Pest, he's the killer. Yeah. He tried to kill everyone that was important. They face off against everyone. And he shows up and they're not scared. They're just like, oh, good. Yes, KP.
Or the fact that...
Oh, no, Robin. Yeah, no, Robin. Let's get there.
I was going to say the fact that, like, Kaladin killed him and he just shows up and they're like, oh, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. It's just no convo. It was just pure acceptance. KP.
I think that in all of his fights where he was witnessed, he was very honorable about it. So when he's like, "Hey, I'm just here and I'm on your side now," they're like, "Yeah, you seem honorable. Okay, we'll go with that."
I
I know
also
this sounds weird, but I sometimes get treated like that in real life, where people I meet like minutes later trust me with things. I'm like, why do you trust me with that? We just met. So I don't know. It's a weird thing. So I feel like I relate to Zeth that way.
well, I guess they have seen his competence. Like, this guy is a weapon. He is so good. And so if he's like, I'm on your side, you go, oh, thank God. Great.
I don't care. Give me this.
Nope.
Is my side.
No questions. If you are going to fight on our side, we needed this. We will literally load the torpedo in and fire it when ready. So yeah, I get that. What did we think of Zeth's training montages, and what do we think of his sword? So Zeth is having a very big redirect from what he usually is. Jeff just says yawn. Boring.
Yeah, it is. Like, his training stuff is whatever. That could have all been cut without too much damage to the book.
I agree.
Well, let me disagree with that, please.
Yes, yep, tapped into the debate.
Imagine sections of a Sanderson book needing to be cut. Freaking weird.
That's silly. That's fair. That's for like lazy people. But yeah, so what happened? So with his, the reason why I think his stuff shouldn't be cut, even though it was that Zeth's like, so Zeth is super honorable. He's very much by the law. That's his thing. Like, he's honorable to the point where he literally followed someone who held the magic rock for a long time. He's doing horrible things just because he thought he had to. But now with the training, he not only does he learning other stuff, but also he's learning to like not go necessarily by the like not necessarily going like but by the letter of the law, but also by the spirit of the law.
Yeah.
And by learning to find other people. So he has to find someone he believes in. He doesn't believe in is what he used to before.
Well, he's questioning everything, isn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that's healthy, because before it was such blind acceptance. Oh, you have the rock, I'll do anything that you say. Oh, you want me to kill the king? Here I go. Which I still don't understand, because the rock actually held no power.
Well, it's not that the rock held power, it's that he had a specific oath to like follow whoever had the rock. That's all. It wasn't that the rock itself had anything.
Jeff, I'm tapping you in. Oh no, Colleen's in, and then I'll get you, Jeff.
In his culture, rocks are sacred. And so when someone held this rock, it represented something. It represented the oath and the fact that they called him truthless. So it represented that, according to them, he had violated their belief system.
So this was like repentance? What was that called?
Yeah, it was symbolic.
Okay. Is this like self-flagellation? I'll do anything you say because I'm punished? Okay, Jeff, you're in.
I think so. I mean, I guess I don't think Zeth has changed in any way, shape, or form. He just keeps looking externally for something to tell him what to do and to tell him what to believe and to tell him how to act and so on, because he doesn't trust himself. Because at a young age he was told he was truthless, right? And so he doesn't think he has good judgment. And I guess the issue that you run into in his story, or that he's running into in his story, is that he's finding out that he was right. That really, like, the Voidbringers were coming back and all this other stuff was happening. And so he wasn't truthless, as they said. But even with that, he's still trying to find something external to tell him what to do. He doesn't.
Yeah, he's a puppet. He's always been a puppet. Yeah.
So it's
everyone's like,
his perspective has changed. He hasn't changed in any way, shape, or form.
I think there's growth, but I don't think it's the arc. I mean, the arc is a slight curvature, whereas others' arcs here is like a full shwoo. KP will enter you into the debate, and then Vaden will go to you.
I'm going to say almost all the same stuff Jeff just said, but from a completely different perspective. In that, I think that Zeth was born and raised into a culture. He was indoctrinated, like everybody is. Wherever you're born, wherever you grow up, your parents, the people around, they're going to make you think a certain way. he was brought up to believe these certain things, and so when he predicted stuff and they said, no, you're wrong, he had to accept, I made this mistake, I'm truthless, I must follow the laws, my own honor code, which is whoever has the rock, I'm going to do what they say. And it's when he finds out that he was right and they were wrong, now what he's questioning is his whole doctrine.
Yeah.
In fact, at one point they're like, why are you walking on rocks? Your people don't do that. He's like, well, I've recently discovered like everything's wrong, so that's probably wrong too. But he's been so messed up by it, he does want somebody else outside to tell him what to do, because he's like, I have all these things that I believed. Many of them were wrong, but even I didn't recognize that. So yeah, he does want somebody to tell him what to do. I think it's all from the way he was brought up.
Yeah,
just,
okay.
It came to this point.
Colleen says, look, we get his backstory in Wind and Truth, and it all makes sense. So just patience. We will get there. We'll get there. What do we... I don't really care, but what do we think of his sword? His sword's hungry. His sword, like, wrapped some wicked vines around Zeth and Lift. What's his sword's story? Sword Nimi is great, says KP. Darian.
Hey,
your background's blurred, so your hand was like fuzzy.
Yeah. No, this sword reminds me a lot of Stormbringer from this other fantasy series called Elric of Melniboné. Because it's like the sentient black sword but that one like always like hungers for souls, not just to be, cut around. But
I love a sentient sword.
I feel it's a nod to Elric.
Oh, okay. I like it. And apparently Warbreaker, spoiler. If you want to learn more about the sword, you should have been reading Warbreaker. The voice the narrator uses for Zeth's swords reminds me of Tim Curry. I kind of see that. It's very, I think, a bit flamboyant and outrageous. Yeah. Sword Nimi just wants to destroy evil. That's it. What's so bad about that? Does it, though? It's hungry for death. Also, Zeth making a choice to follow someone is quite different from that decision being forced on him. He could have joined most of the Skybreakers and joined Odium, but he chose to follow Dalinar. Let's talk about that. Why do you think Zeth was like, I'm not going to follow a law. I'm not going to follow a herald. In my next phase of my training, it's Dalinar's word, even though I've technically discovered that the original inhabitants of the land are the Parshendi, and the humans are technically against the Parshmen and the Parsh. But I'm still going to follow Dalinar. Why do you think Zeth chose that?
I think it's because he's... I don't know. It's hard to know how much information he has available to him, but like you see what Dalinar's done and seeing that like basically he's an honorable and good person. Like a lot of people, he has a reputation of being the Blackthorn, and people thought he was terrible. And obviously, like Taravangian was also he was. I know he definitely was. And Taravangian was the same way. That he thought he was going to be a pretty shit person, but he ended up being a good guy. He's like, oh, I didn't expect you to be a good person at all.
A lot of people are underestimating Dalinar.
And when he shows that he is a good person and that he's changed, and then that also proves to like Seth as well that he can change, but also shows that he's a good person to follow. Like Dalinar is the best leader you can possibly ask for. He's a bondsmith. He brings people together. He literally summons everyone together to kick ass. Like,
unify. All great answers. The answer I'm looking for: Dalinar's the only guy that Zeth can't defeat. Zeth was unstoppable in Way of Kings. This guy was an assassin, and if he was going to kill you, you're dead. You're dead. It wasn't an if, it was a when. He couldn't get Dalinar. And I think that there's something there, and Kaladin too, yes. Well, Cal kicked his butt, but he couldn't kill a target. And I think Dalinar was the first target that he couldn't kill. And I have to imagine that there's a level and a measure of respect that came from that. And I think now that Zeth is studying and seeing Dalinar's behavior and actions, on top of the fact that he couldn't take him out easily, that's someone that you look up to, right? That's, I think, where this almost mentor-esque has come from. Darian, and then Jeff, because Jeff, I know you're about to say something because you have your thinking face on.
Just to add to Vaden's point, one of the interesting things is you see the historical justification that the Parshmen have But I think it's like an ends justify the means type of situation where what they're doing is so beyond the pale that I don't think Zeth can really square himself with that. I mean, they have this historical claim, they were invaded and they were conquered and everything, and it's horrible. But the extent that they went to, like, being allied to Odium, and basically the way they're doing this thing with the fuse, they're just killing off their own people just to get a chance of fighting.
Yeah.
It's it's more than moral, it's beyond that at this stage. So
and I feel like, even though we don't know if Zeth's seen it, Dalinar is asking the questions. How do we unify? How do we make reparations? How do we ally with them? And how do we form a sense of peace between them? And he's the only person who's actually talking about peace, I feel, and like in a way that means it. And that's got to come out somewhere. Yes, Jeff?
I don't think Zeth actually knows any of that. I think he makes the decision in the books when he's talking to Nin or Nail or whatever you want to call him. And I think he sees that Nin has admittedly made big mistakes. And so
completely lost himself.
If you're Zeth sitting there and your choice is really, it's not really between Odium and Dalinar, it's really between Nin and Dalinar. And so he has this guy telling him, I'm not right in the head, I'm screwed up, and so I'm going to make, Zeth makes the only other choice. And I think you're also 100% right that, like, the guy who first kicked his butt and stopped him is also going to be.
And when you look at the comparison of Nail and Dalinar, this is actually a really good thing. And KP, I do see your hand up, and I'm going to come to you after this. What I think is really incredible, and Colleen mentioned this, I love that Dalinar embraced his past to become better. Why we need to learn our history. He accepted and took ownership over his actions and his behavior. And that's how he couldn't, and why he didn't fall to Odin. Odin, as we've heard in Moash's head, hey, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Odin gives people an out. They give people an excuse to not take accountability, to not face the consequences, and to not look at the responsibility of your actions. And I think Dalinar reflecting and being like, look, you could have been persuading me, pushing me, influencing me, all of these things. But at the end of the day, I decided to do that. I leaned into it. I accepted your influence. It was my hand. It was my sword. And Nail has completely lost big picture. He had absolute severe tunnel vision to a fault, where he completely lost himself. And we saw that in Edge Dancer, with Lift coming to him being like, bro, who are you? Like, honestly, what are you doing this for? Where is your personality? Do you even laugh anymore? And Nail being like, oh my God, I've completely lost who I am. And I was consumed by what I thought was justice. And so his existential crisis is along the lines of, who am I to judge? I've made wrong judgment. I'm not actually getting that. I'm not at my best with that anymore. And so you're right, Jeff, when Zeth is looking at a role model and you see Dalinar like accepting and Nail losing himself, yeah, he's the better choice. KP, and then we'll go over to you, Darian. And then, guys, we have 55 minutes to get through another 19 of my talking points.
Let's not forget that normally at this point in their training, they swear to a law, not a person. Again, going back to what we've heard about Zeth, everything he's brought up to believe, these laws, these things, they've all failed him. So he's like, I don't trust any law. Maybe I can trust that guy. And that was like the biggest thing in making him decide to follow Dalinar. Mm-hmm. He's not a law, he's a person.
Yeah, and that means there's a level of flexibility. And, the law as well was how people interpreted it, what a person's perspective was on that. So you can shift words to better yourself and to hurt others any way you want. The Bible. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, I have something in my throat. I think it was bullshit. Anyway, what with Dalinar, do you think, and I have theories here, do you think he is the Almighty reincarnated? What? No, says Jeff. Do you think he's a Herald reincarnate? Okay, no, it's not, and I'll tell you why. All right. Let's look. Where is Daddy Dalinar? Daddy Dalinar. Here are my notes here. Just wow. He faced down Odium. He didn't give in to the thrill, the grief, the burden. He accepted his actions completely. He was ripping off his own fingernails to try and fight Odium. I was saying Odin that whole time. Odium. Thank you for not correcting me, but I was wrong. It's Odium. Odin is a whole different god with a whole lot different thunder. That is a whole other thing. No wonder you got him confused, Maude. Odium. Now, when Dalinar doesn't fall to Odium, Odium is there screaming, no, we killed you. We killed you. Who is we and who had died? Theories. Let's break that down, because every other time Odium refers to him, it's I, individual. It is this God complex. It is I run everything. You need to bow down to me, I, me. And this is the first time he said we. So there is a collective force. Who is we? Jeff, how do you know? Have you read ahead? Spoilers. Did you read ahead? Did you read ahead, Jeff? What have you read?
I've read all of it. When don't I? I always do. I've read all of it. Everything that's out so far.
Okay, well, you can pipe out of this one then. Who is we and who died originally? Now, we know that the Almighty is dead. We have come to terms with that. Stormfather has confirmed. The Almighty has passed. I am like basically a blip of what he stands for. When Dalinar unifies, he's been it's the royal we. Okay. Dalinar, the unification here is so great. We must, book one, we need to unite the High Princes. And that's Gavilar, right? We need to unite the High Princes. We need to unite the High Princes. And then it's we need to unite what's the C word? The coalition. We need to unite the coalition against the threat. And now it's we are going to unite the realms. I'm literally going to grab all three of the realms here, cognitive, physical, and spiritual. And I'm going to unite them in this incredible power moment where I think he like turns into this beam vessel of light. And he's the reason why the Shadesmar and our side quest journey with Adolin, and Shallan can get back into the physical realm. The Stormfather was like, how did you do that? I have not seen that before. That is not a me power. That is something that you have been able to possess. So this is bigger than being a bondsmith. This is, I would say, God tier power. Like from the God. And if nothing else is dying here, if the voids can recycle and the heralds are still alive, why can't Almighty be reborn? It's a theory. It's a theory. When Venli asks Dalinar who he is and he answers, I am unity, how did you take that? What was your understanding of Dalinar identifying himself as I am unity? Anyone? Beulah? Forlorn Knight says we've seen something like this in Mistborn. Go on. We've read Mistborn, so no spoilers there. KP asked a question in the Google Doc that is pertinent. Where's the KP question?
I don't know what that is.
Go on, Jeff. Maybe it was it's a quote.
Wait, it was Fable? Because
was it in Fable? Darian?
Just to that point of Dalinar saying I am unity. Just pointing out that Dalinar has met cultivation already and he's met odium. So has he met honor as well, although honor is dead? What does that really mean also?
Yeah, true. Where is the honor herald? Honor's brought up a lot. Something happened with Syl and honor. She's like a young, that whole conversation was like, what's happening? Syl is ancient, but also new. What does she represent? Syl's like, P.S. I kind of have like a price on my head. Why? Because she shouldn't have been reborn at this particular time. I think there's something that Syl is not telling us about her origin. Yes, Vaden?
Oh, just now that it's mentioning all this stuff, it's kind of making me think that maybe Syl ends up becoming the next god of honor, like because she's a daughter. We know she's a daughter of honor, and at some point, so maybe she eventually becomes honor, and the next one at least.
Well, Honor, get off her. Then maybe she could fly. I love how split everyone was. Robin just shakes her head at me like she's so severely disappointed. KP Dubs puts on his reading glasses. My understanding of that was so you could write it down and use it another time.
He's checking Fable first. What is his main question?
I think that Cal liked Syl in human form in the Shadesmar. I do too. I think that Syl has had a crush on Kaladin since day one. Yeah, there's something there for sure. She was born millennia ago, but slept for so much of it that she's young mentally. Forlorn Knight says, with the Mistborn reference, what is the Well of Ascension? Good point. Good point. The power is spread and Dalinar is harnessing it. Okay, well, there's other theories there, and I've put some in the document if you want to peruse. Let's talk about what's next in my notes. We kind of got a little bit... Here we go. Taravangian confesses that he controlled Zeph to kill a lot of people. Taravangian is confessing a considerable amount at this stage. What did you think about that moment? Because I don't know how calculated that was. Taravangian's quite unpredictable on a good day, depending on who's behind the wheel. But the thing with Taravangian is he has what's called a diagram. And from my understanding, it is using sort of foretelling and future sight. I don't know if it's on Renarin's level or if it's something like that. And they're you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the 3-body problem. It reminds me of calculations and depicting the algorithms and like whatever the math equation is to unlock the answer. And they've got this sort of diagram that they're playing by as a rule, and there's pieces on this chessboard, and Dalinar is a massive piece on this. Now, initially they wanted to kill him, realized that he couldn't. Was that Foundation as well? I thought that was 3-body problem. That's why you had to go into the video game and like go through every single scenario. I tuned out of the second half of that book, so maybe I'm wrong. His curse is that he's usually too stupid to figure out what he learned from the boon. That's the thing. What did he want? His acumen. It was compassion and acumen, but he didn't. The curse was he would never get them at the same time. Yeah, which is interesting. But the fact that he also went to the Night Watch. He is a bad guy who got foreknowledge as a boon from the Night Watcher. There you go. Yep. He wants to deal with Odium to save his people. Oh, what a punk move. The Odium was like, I will save your family 2 generations only. And he's like, no, I can't make that deal. And he's like, cool, deal's off the table then. This is how I think Odium talks, by the way. Deal's off the table then. No. And so Taravangian's like, look, I'm not operating close to 100% here. I'm about 27%. So I have no idea if this is the smart thing. I will trade the safety of my kingdom, of my people, and in return, you can just cause desolation and wipe out everyone else. This is what the greater good is, the embodiment of. Baz, let's go.
I had a question. Did because it's all mixed up in my head. Did Oathbringer cover his meeting with the Night Watcher?
No.
And the dialogue they had? Okay. Got it. That's it.
Got it. Got it. Just the capital city. Oh, it's not even the whole kingdom. It's just the capital. And what I thought about this as well, where a lot of this book is looking at humans taking over the Parsh lands. And now, and what's interesting about that is it's, you know, like just because someone came in, they had bigger weapons, it means they take over your lands, right? What Taravangian is doing is also another form of what? it's not a natural selection. It's not even a favoritism, but it's this whole, the people who die and the people who stay, it's just by association. It's just by, you know, where you happen to be born. So you're protected by birth location only. And I don't know if that's like another form of prejudice per se, but it's this thing where it's like you are entitled, and in this instance, to living further than desolation just because of where you were born. And it's something that you can't help. It's something that you have no control over, but you can't fight to be in that place because you weren't born there. You weren't born with that boon, I guess, so to speak. Nationalism. All right, yeah. The Night Watcher is not the god. Cultivation is the god. Odium reminds me of Hades from the Disney cartoon. Oh no, Hades is too skinny. Odium is who's Odium in my brain? I actually think he looks more like Zeus from Hercules in my head, which should be Stormfather, but that's what's happening here. She's a high spren similar to Stormfather. That's the Night Watcher. What's the Night Watcher's deal? What's their play? What are they getting at? It's just old magic. There's some real fuckery when it comes to this Night Watcher. I'll help you, but I'll hurt you. Darian.
The Night Watcher reminded me of like the Fae that you would see like in Dresden Files or King Killer, where, you know, they will give you like a devil's bargain. I give you something, but you'll never know the cost.
Faustian.
Exactly.
I like a good Faustian bargain.
Fun. Yeah.
It's like you have to be desperate. And it's interesting that even though Dalinar wanted to, it wasn't to forget his pain. That was the curse. He wanted to be able to be forgiven. He was seeking forgiveness. And that was a really interesting thing. Why was he starting to remember again? Who do you think had the power to feed Dalinar his memories back earlier so that he had enough time to cope with the grief and the loss and the trauma and the destruction of who he was, so that by the time Odium got to him, he couldn't be controlled by it? You think that was cultivation? Yeah, okay. Interesting. Cultivation said that she was pruning his memories. Cultivation said his curse was that he would eventually remember again. Knight says, sorry, doing dishes and kid care while listening. Well of Ascension is a pool of power of the god. It connects all three realms and can be taken, but Honor is dead and his pool isn't around, but Dalinar was able to produce a part of its effect for a short while. So Dalinar is Honor. So Honor isn't dead, but he's still going to see what he can do. Got it. Got it. Hi, Tank. Good to see you here. I usually see you in Trisha's chat, so that's lovely. Meaning they grow back. Oh, because it's cultivation. I like that. Taravangian outing himself and Dalinar not taking him out of the coalition, even though Dalinar's like, you abandoned me when I needed you. Is that a bit of a weird play by Dalinar? Or is he so desperate that he just takes anyone who will fight by his side, even though Taravangian's like, peace, you look like you're in the losing team, so I'm going to save myself. And now that everything's back to normal and you sorted it, all you Knights Radiant just took care of it, I guess I'm back. Oh, by the way, Zeth, that guy? Yeah, I hired him to kill Gavilar.
Well, no, he didn't hire him to kill Gavilar. He carried him after Gavilar killed.
Oh, after, yeah, he saw what Seth did to Gavilar and was like, you're hired.
That guy's good.
You're hired. Jeff, you look confused. Darian, look confused.
What? Go ahead, Darian.
Oh, no, I just had a question, kind of tying back to Gavilar when he was trying to unite everybody before he died.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just wondering if, like, he was getting the visions from the Stormfather and stuff before he died, and then it went Stormfather chose Dalinar after.
That's my assumption, because Gavilar had the visions. The visions was the crucial thing.
Okay.
And now we know the Stormfather is behind the visions. It makes sense that the Stormfather was using Gavilar, who's a king at the time, who seems to be the perfect person to partner with. And then Gavilar, upon saying too much to, was it not Venli, but Venli was there listening to, or Eshonai was there.
And, like, the chosen Pashendi for, like, that.
Yeah, they were like, ooh, that's too close to her. We got to get rid of him. He's a threat now. Jeff?
So it was like the Parshendi who hired Seth to kill him.
Yeah, I guess I don't think Tiravainen, like, he didn't fully out himself. I don't think.
He played some of his
and
cards.
He played some of the cards, and he realized that things weren't going his way. And the other thing about Tiravainen is that what he got from the Night Watcher was the ability or competence to solve the problem, but also the compassion to want to solve the problem, but not at the same time.
Yes.
And this manifests itself as these like smart days and these dumb days, or whatever you want to call them. And so because he has those dumb days, he still has this sort of compassion that makes people want to trust him, because he cares. Like, he does care. It's just that not when he's actually making decisions.
And
so
I think there was a time when talking to Odium, I think he realized, he goes, if I were bright right now, like if I had my wits about me, I would be able to see too much information, because Odium is pouring me infinity right now. I am like Pandora's box is opened, and I'm seeing and witnessing and reading it. And if I were in a better state of mind, reading all this would unravel me and would probably break me. But I'm like, no, words are pretty. And that saved him in that moment. So that's really interesting that there was a positive on those bad days as well. The diagram is Batman on Adderall. Where is she? Interesting. There you go. And on the dumb days, he's more likely to emphasize. Keep It Up says, you will not break me. Whoop, wrong series. But Kaladin adjacent. Kaladin's mantra is also that. So there you go. How did Scar and Dre escape the Parshman? Even if they flew, even if they've mastered Windrunner abilities, the Fused were there, and the Fused would have trailed them, and these two had to tow several people with them, including Elkar's son that was wrapped up in a blanket. So that, to me, was like, oh, sure, we'll just say that that was an easy out, but like, was it? For the sake of off-screen, they got through it. What do we think is going to happen with Elkar's son? He's only about 3 years old. Jimmy?
This is just my opinion. I don't know if this is actually the thing. But
Hey, I'm going to give you a heads up, Jimmy. Every single time you unmute in talking to your microphone, it is literally your opinion. Like, I love your caveat. It's completely not necessary to state that when you share. Like, I guarantee you, I know that.
My corporate training I have.
Is that it? Is that it? Oh, that's great. Okay, fantastic. No need for a disclaimer here. What's your opinion, Jimmy?
Okay, so, like you said, how Fuse, didn't interfere with them leaving or anything like that. It's very possible that Fuse is baiting them and then waiting for them to go off and do something, possibly proverbially liquid their wounds, so that he can come back and dominate in another way and possibly control the child, the 3-year-old child.
I'm a little lost. Who's going to go away? You think the Fused let them go to take the child so that they can come back?
Let them go. This is again, Fuse let them go, and then I feel like somehow Fuse is going to influence the child, and then overtake the child, and then take the tree down from the inside, as it were. So
you think a corrupt Spren has already infiltrated? There was a moment though when Brandon made it quite obvious that his eyes were not red, and I gathered from that he hadn't been corrupted from the Spren. And I don't know. I don't think it was his mum who protected him from that. I think it was him and the child's actions that was rebuking the effects of the corrupted Spren. But I'm going to hear your theory that he has a corrupted Spren in or around him already, and that's a planted seed. Well, I mean, look what happened with Renarin. He got corrupted, and that was off page, and we didn't see that happen. So anything is possible. I hear that. So you're saying that baby Elika has entered the arena as a pawn for now.
Yes.
Okay, I like it.
Thank you.
They couldn't fly with Kaladin. Oh yeah, so Kaladin would have had to have been there. So they would have had to have trekked that whole way. Okay. KP, help me understand this. Didn't they also have some of Shallan's illusionists? What do you mean?
Yeah, so just as the Bridge 4 crew are starting to get Kaladin's powers, her little spy net that she was working out, we're starting to get her light weaving powers. And so when they got sucked into the Oathgate to the Shadesmar, they were left behind, and they keep the powers for a very short time, just long enough in the chaos of battle with thousands of soldiers on both sides, them to somehow grab the kid and get out of there. Once they got out of there, then it was like, under the trees, run, do whatever we can to stay away.
Interesting.
But
so the main Knights
happening.
Radiant, their power leaks out to those around them that are open and willing to harness them? Kill. Their powers stay for a while. Okay. KP Dub says, in the chaos of war, they maybe did just enough to sneak out. How they got the kid, though, that's the question. Yeah. But the kid's here now. We spoke about Yasna, which is fantastic. I can't wait to see her lead as queen with all of this. Surely, if the Ardents have an issue with Dalinar being a heretic about not worshipping the Almighty, there's got to be something about Yasna being atheist. The Ardents are at a wit's end already. They excommunicated Dalinar for his beliefs. They were like, we need a level of decorum here. You can't go around denouncing that our God is dead. We won't stand for it. Dalinar's just like, I don't know what to tell you. The Stormfather himself told me. And the Ardents are like, oh my God, dude. Stop. But the fact that Yasna, she has caused numerous ripples within the community, that she is proud, like openly an atheist. And that's upset a lot. So the fact that the monarch is an atheist, that'll be interesting. I don't know what the Ardents are going to do with that. And I think that what's really great is that Dalinar has so much history with one of the head Ardents. I can't remember his name right now.
Kadash.
Kadash. Where Kadash is just like, Dalinar, I'm trying to help you, and I will, just let us do our thing. And this is the church and the state, right? Like, we can kind of make that parallel and distinction quite clearly. The Ardents are the church, and Dalinar and what Yasna will be the state. And what I think we've seen so much is that they work somewhat in harmony. In our current iteration, I think the religion is actually affecting a lot of laws to a negative degree. So I'm wondering what will happen, like the antithesis of what we're currently experiencing in the American political system. What if someone comes in as an atheist and they're just like, we're going to change legislation because anything that's affected or influenced by religion, I don't believe. So there you go. Yasna said no matter what she does, they identify her with Ma. What do you mean? Ma. Colleen? That's your comment. Yasna said that no matter what she does, they identify her with Ma. What makes her an outsider?
Yeah, my finger slipped. The rest of it was the next slide. It's with what made her an outsider.
Got it. Yes, exactly, right? So just because she's going to be queen, there's got to be an outfall of that in Rhythm of War for sure. Town forgave the heralds for abandoning him, and he was even happy about it, says Knight. What a beautiful moment, because you have Ash there being like, no, you're supposed to hate me. Like, we abandoned you for 4 millennia, like millennia. 4,000 years you were left to sort of like fight for us. And he's like, no, this is wonderful. Because it means we've had 4 millennia to rebuild between desolations. It means that like I've bought you enough time to fight back. And Ash is just like, oh my God. So you want to talk about forgiveness. KBW says, here's my burning question. Humans came to Rashar bringing surges and Spren. Did that mean that there were no Spren on Rashar before that? Or was it more their ability to bond with Spren that was the big difference? I thought Spren and Parshendi were the original. What I don't understand is that how humans brought the void. That's the one for me.
I think the mythology is void bringers bring destruction. That's what humans brought.
Right.
Before they're known as void bringers. It doesn't mean there's like a void. It just means they're going to destroy everything. That was my take on it.
Odium is the void, but Odium's not a human. Odium was originally their god. Okay, so this is the mystical versions of humans. It is not us. See, this is the thing about like the Cosmere. What are we? Which people? Like, where are we bringing it from? What is the history? We're going intergalactic already here. All right, let's talk about Moash. Moash, who's become the next Zeth. He's a weapon who doesn't ask questions. Tell me what to do, I'll do it. Oh, you just want me to kill this herald? I don't know. This is a pretty looking blade. It's a name maybe I've heard once before. Sounds like you love him, says K Frito. Is it Via or Via? Via or Via? Who are the audiobook listeners?
He said that it rhymed with fire.
Via.
So
All right. Via.
He traded, he was willing to do whatever they say because he traded that for any feeling of responsibility.
He's becoming the next Zeth.
Yep.
And why? Because when Odium was like, hey, Moash, it wasn't your fault. Moash goes, it wasn't my fault. I am blameless. It was not me. I had no part in it. I am a victim of circumstance. I did nothing wrong. I attempted to kill Elhokar in front of Kaladin and he ousted me and I lost everything that meant something to me. And when given the chance, I did it again. And I actually killed Elhokar in front of Kaladin now. So I didn't change remotely. I fulfilled what I thought I should do, but then I was also fighting for the Pashendi. So it was not my fault. So he drank the Kool-Aid. Jeff, you've got your thinking face on. That's not even your thinking face. It's your actually face.
Yeah, it probably is. I guess I think that Moash at the end is much more of a representation of the Radiance when they were like, you know, humans are in the wrong here. And maybe this is an outgrowth of him not taking responsibility, possibly, but really, I think to him it's like, well, you know, we are in the wrong, and so, you know, I'm gonna do what they say.
I think that's what the rest of Bridge 4 is struggling with, along with Kaladin. I think Moash has lost himself so much that I do think it's an Odian persuasion. Because I mean, Moash did have that same, like we said last week, like there's parallels where Kaladin's living with the Parshendi and teaching them how to survive and teaching them survival techniques and understanding like, wait a second, Parshmen aren't our enemy. It's the Voidbringers and it's when they're fused, but they're being used in this arrangement. And Moash had the same thing, was like, oh, this hierarchical system, there is still someone at the bottom rung that needs to be protected. And I do think his Bridge 4 you know, strength over weakness, I will protect those that cannot protect themselves, that kicked in. That absolutely kicked in then. But he has, I think, realized by losing Bridge 4 completely, he might be looking something else to stand for. But I also get a sense of giving up, and that giving up, that relinquishment of his own actions. It wasn't his fault. And as soon as that became his mantra, and he could have been a Knights Radiant, and instead he's an Odium pawn. I think. I can see that. Hey! Yes!
So I think that, like, and also one thing I mentioned with Moash is that, like, he's kind of like, I think he's I think in one regard he's very similar to Amaran. Like when Kaladin was fighting Amaran, he's like, why do you still hurt? Like in Amaran keeps proclaiming himself a patriot, that he had to do what he had to do for the greater good. Moash believes he had to kill Elhokar for what he thinks is like for vengeance. He tries so hard for it. He eventually accomplishes his mission that he thinks is necessary, but his victory leaves him hollow. He got nothing really out of it.
And it lost him everything. It lost him Kaladin, it lost him Bridge 4, it lost him purpose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then now that he's accomplished it, he's like, what do I do now? He's like, he doesn't know what to do, and he's like, so he ends up falling into like the Zeth trap, where he's just like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to do this other stuff to essentially make up for my mistake that he thinks is making for a mistake, to help these depressed people, the Parshmen, against the human invaders. And it's like, but in the end, he's hurting bad, and it's because all because of him.
And I think when that was really honed in the book was when he blindly sort of took the dagger, he made the kill, and then he went back and no one cared. He wasn't deemed a hero. And it wasn't until like someone else came in and said, P.S. Moash is dead. You've got a new identity. Like, you know, your past, you don't even have to worry about it. There was no burden. You didn't take any responsibility. We're wiping the slate clean and you can become someone else from this point. And he's like, good, because that last version of me lost everything. It's the antithesis. It's the opposite of Teft, right? Teft had an addiction. Teft had it's kind of like what Dalinar went through with the Thrill as well. But Teft was like, I hate myself. I keep doing this to me. I keep making mistakes and I'm failing everyone around me. I'm not good enough. I shouldn't be given this power. Let me go. Like, leave me. I'm weak, whatever it was. And Teft had his massive 180 moment where he finally was realizing. And I think that was such a beautiful demonstration where his words, what he had to say was different and they were unique to him. I will protect those those who I hate, even if the person I hate the most is myself. And I think that was his personal forgiveness moment. Yes, I'm an addict. Yes, I want the fire moss all the time. But there's something bigger than me and my addiction. And I can help people and I will say the words and I will become a Knights Radiant. And I thought that was really beautiful. Moash did not take that responsibility. Moash looks like he wanted to help himself. And this is why it's such a tragedy. And it's kind of like Lysander as well. I know that some people can't stand Lysander as a villain. Lysander is on the precipice, on the cusp of do the right thing and listen to the people that you shouldn't be listening to. And that's what's happening with Moash, right? Bridge 4 took him on. Kaladin looked up to him. He built a family. But then there's vengeance took the wheel for too long. And then he kind of saw that through. And then he started listening to Odium and he lost himself. And it's like, that's his villain origin story, right? Lysander could have sided with Darrow. He could have learnt from Cassius. He could have done all of these things. But at the end of the day, he was like, no, I need power. And I need to destroy those around me so I can gain that power. And it's his villain origin. Change starts from within. Well said, Jimmy. And that's what Dalinar did. And that was such a beautiful moment for him. And I think Moash has become the villain because he did the opposite of Dalinar. He did the opposite of Teft. He didn't forgive himself. He didn't take ownership for his actions. He listened to vengeance. He listened to Odium. And now he's lost himself completely. And now he's changed his identity completely. Moash embraces the hate. The Emperor got to him. I think this is not the end of Moash, and I think it's, you know, the Szeth from book 1 is going to be the Moash for book 4. For sure. I think that's what's happening. And then you have sweet Adolin, who is untraumatized and able to care about fashion. Like, oh, that is my goal. He's in the fucking Shadesmar and he's like, this fashion will not do. I have to rip that. I have to tailor this. I have to suck that in. I have to fold that up. And it's like, oh, I'm waiting for him to kind of realize that he doesn't like women, honestly. But at the moment, no guy likes fashion that much. Sweet Adolin, Adolin was like, I kill Sadeas, do it again. That's how I relate to Adolin. I took care of a problem. That problem was not going to go away and it was going to keep being a problem. I'm a solutions person. Do it again. I don't know what that noise was, but it sounded like someone laughing or agreeing. I'm not sure. Hold on. Knight said, I have that on a shirt. KP Dub says, who else thought the most important step was the first one? Seriously, every single time they leave you hanging. The most important step? I would audibly say the first one. The first one. The most important step is the first one to take. No, it's the second. You can take that first and still give up. It's that second step. It's the fact that you got to keep walking. The second step is the most important. That's what.
Not even the second. The next one.
The next one.
Third or the 10th or the 1,000th.
You just got to keep taking.
A step. The next one is the most important.
Damn. Here we are, like the first one. No. Yes, Vaden?
I was just typing, yeah, like A Journey Before Destination, you know?
Yes, that's the next one, isn't it? That's the journey. That's the embodiment of the journey. It's taking that next step, every next step. Inviram says that first time you saw the next one on the page, oof, it was a moment for sure. Tosapost says, yeah, I said the first step too. Greg says, to the journey even? Yeah, the next step is continuation of the journey, and it's journey before destination. Ugh. All right, we talked about Moash, the Stormfather being shocked by Dalinar's powers. Lift entering the battle. I loved this moment. She's what, barely 10, an 11-year-old girl, and Dalinar's like, this is your task. Like, not protect this child from battle. Dalinar, like, absolutely, you want to talk about this, you just have instant trust. Dalinar instantly trusts the Knights Radiant. If you have been knighted, Dalinar's like, right, no questions, no qualms, let's get to business. Or let's get down to business, I believe, is the I forgot. My brain shut down halfway through that.
Idiom.
Yeah. Someone is. Ugh. Bianchi says 10 for 3 years or something. Lisa gets it. Let's get down to business to defeat Maud's puns. Sorry, I would have said KP, but I needed a single syllable. So I took the onus on that one. Dalinar needed a lift in that moment. Hey! KP's puns. Let's business that business. Inviram says, let's hope this series ends well, or we're going to have a whole second wave of delusioned millennials with tattoos that did not age well. Harry Potter. Oh, dear. Also, shout out to YouTube that's happening here. Does anyone know what next month's book is? AP comes in strong, saying the next book is next week, which is our bonus book for August. It's the Kaiju Preservation Society. I can confirm September 3, 5 p.m. Q&A with John Scalzi. And if you remember, you get to ask questions for John Scalzi. This will be the second book that we've covered. The first one was Starter Villain back in January. And then next month will be The Will of the Many and Sunrise on the Reaping. Can confirm we've got James Islington for a Q&A. Maud's been busy. And that one will be the beginning of October. So John Scalzi's coming up. James Islington's coming up. I've locked in a third one, which you guys don't want to hear this. I wanted to change out the bonus book for next month to accommodate for this Q&A, but I didn't. I'm just going to add more books to your reading list instead. But I'll write in the show chat who that's going to be with, because you guys find out first. That is who I've locked in for a Q&A as well, which I'm actually kind of excited about. A new duology, I believe, has come out, which I wanted to do. I'll tell you, Lise, in the after show real quick. So we've got that one. And then, of course, we need to land, which I should have found out about yesterday, but that one I've been emailing with to find time in. I'm just telling you all the things. That must be so frustrating for everyone else. $5 gets you access to this conversation. So that's, yeah, that'll be happening sometime in September as well on a, which will affect. Okay, great. So already for September, oopie, but we'll get there. All right. Cool. Lift, sick moments, slick moments. That's always fun. I love the attitude and vibe she gets. You'd think that she'd be shitting bricks because she's like going face first into war. Nah, she's like, when she says to Dalinar, what do I need to do? What's my task? Tell me what's up. I got it. I love that moment. I love the dichotomy between her. Lift is awesome. Agree. And it was just so cool. She's just not phased. She's just not phased by things, which is so great. We also learnt about different heralds, Taln and Ash. We spoke about that briefly already. I have a feeling this is going to be the beginning of their story. We're going to learn lots more about that in the next book. Oh yeah, the reveal as well. How did it feel to learn the revelation that humans are the Voidbringers? It was no wonder that once they learnt that they were slaughtering a people who only wanted to preserve their world and their freedom, the Knights Radiant all said, nope, and gave up their blades. Of course, they did kill a ton of spread in the process, which is very not cool, but on how distraught and horrified they must have been at learning the truth, that they themselves were the abomination that they thought they'd been battling. Whew. And also in our last few minutes, Venli has become a Knights Radiant. She's took the oaths as well. She's a part of it all. Did we get to see much of that in action? No, it felt like a blip. Personally, I felt like a blip.
Yeah, but the next book is called Rhythm of War, and she's a singer and a listener who listens to the rhythms. Something tells me that's a clue.
Yeah, I think this is the beginning of Venli's story as well. The beginning of Venli's story was her sister Eshonai, and then that came to an abrupt ending at the end of last book. So Venli's taken the realm with that one. It gives a little Tactus / Apollonius sort of vibe. We really liked your brother, but now that he's dead, I guess we'll look at the other brother. It's like, Eshonai, you were really cool, but you're dead. So now Venli, what's up? The switcheroo. Also, let's talk about Shallan. Some people in Reddit, like in last night's discussion actually with Smitty1423, a book talker, we all kind of recognized the first book with Shallan was like, who is she? The second book, Words of Radiance, oh, she's great. Reddit's turning on her again this book. I do think that they just said that the whole her changing into different people became a bit old. What I thought was really fascinating, though, is that she completely separated into 3 distinctly different people. She didn't become Vale. Vale shifted and became Vale on her own, and Shallan, and Radiance. Completely different versions of herself, simultaneously their own person. How did you see and what did you think about Shallan's powers evolving? She's doing an illusionary army now. She's completely separated into 3 people, and Shallan's not really coping well. And the reason why she loves Adolin so much is because Adolin can tell. Adolin's like, that's not you. No, stop pretending. That's not you either. There you are, Peter. What movie? What movie?
Hook.
Thank you, KP Dubs. Thank you. Thank you, Greg, says Pan. Hook, damn it. Draconscious says, hey, Maude. Ooh, this is on my list. I'm currently reading the Battle Mage Farmer series and finishing Dungeon Crawler Carl and Red Rising. Once you've finished Dungeon Crawler Carl and Red Rising, head over to the book club. We've got two-hour discussions on that and interviews with both Matt Dinnerman and Pierce Brown. So a lot of content to get into.
You have enough floors?
Okay, Edie, I got you, loves. I'm going to have to mute you. I've already finished those. Oh, you've already finished that? Well, then you got a lot of catching up to do. I've seen your vids. Oh, welcome. Okay, cool. You've done all your homework. Welcome. We are at book 3 of the Stormlight Archive, though. So if you do want to get into this one, we'll be doing book 4 December. So if you just want to read 3 1,200 page books by December, yay! We'll see you for Rhythm of War in December. We got a lot more books. I think we've just started talking about it. Dawn Shard. We've got to do Dawn Shard soon. When's that happening? I think that's extra reading material for everyone as well.
Also Warbreaker, right?
We need to do that before Rhythm of War.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
We're reading 7 books a month, guys, at this stage. Like, there's so much homework. I'm booking in all of these authors now. We've got books to read. Draconscious is saying, I've been finishing them in 3 to 5 days each. Wow. I mean, that's quite impressive. Snore says, it's nice to slow down a bit. Okay, Braggs. 7 books is just pacing. Some people, hey, look, everyone's got a different reading consumption level. Mine is about 7 a month. Yours is about 17 a month. Round up or down. Other people's are 7 a year. So it's like, look, as long as you're reading 1, I'm stoked. I'm stoked. Shallan, what do we think of Shallan in Oathbringer? Like her more? Do we like her less? What are her revelations? What did you think about Vale? Who would you rather have a beer with? Why is it Vale? Did Radiance get enough airtime? Let's talk Shallan for a sec. No, we don't have to, says KP Dubs. I've just get it. This just in. We don't have to talk. Do you not like her, KP?
I just feel there's about 117 more characters to talk about, and we got like 7 minutes.
What are the other 117 more characters? And Shallan is literally one of 3 main POVs.
Maya jumping on the fused back to save Adolin in the Shadesmar. Amazing.
Okay, how is Maya coming to life? She is a dead Spren. She is technically a dead Spren. So how is she alive? And how is she just blind?
Right, so there's something there. Maybe her soul is gone, but she's still an entity. I don't know how that works. But then there's also the fact that on the battlefield, he's counting to 10 heartbeats, and he's counting to 10 heartbeats. And then there's another moment, and he's counting, and he goes 5, 6, 7.
I need you, Maya. Bing.
And she's there after 7. Yes, and that only happens with living Spren.
So I'm wondering. Let's talk about a theory for this. Not only has he he's personified this Spren, he's acknowledged a Spren as the owner of the Shard Blade, right? And I think that everyone else has a detachment to it. Renarin was hearing the screams. Other people can kind of hear the screams. But these are dead Spren, right? And that's why the screaming would happen to begin with. Maybe they didn't die. Maybe their souls are in a purgatory of some sort this entire time. I think him build, and we saw this before he went into the Shadesmar. He would thank his blade. He would talk to his blade like it was a person. And it wasn't necessarily a she or a he. It was an it. But he would recognize, thank you, Blade. Thank you for helping me with this. And I think that there's a correlation between the kindness or the acknowledgement that he's showing to the Blade, and then not ignoring it in the Shadesmar, but trying to connect with his Spren in that regard, that I think that they're building a kinship between each other. Knight says, I think dead means something different from them. More like dead / equals can't bond, and the energies that require took something from them to make them dead eyes. And Colleen's saying the same thing. She's a dead eye. I mean, we see a living, breathing Spren all the time. We definitely know that Maya is completely different to, say, Syl or Patton or any of the others. So a dead eye, maybe there is a disconnect. Maybe a part of them dies. Maybe they don't have the life that they once did, and they're forever sworn to just the blade to live out in like a punishment. We don't know. But the reason why these blades are the way that they are because the Knights Radiant initially, or the Heralds, sorry, gave up their blades. And there are still some Herald blades. Oh my God, it's so convoluted, guys. There's so many things and pieces here and blah, 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 and this and that. But like, some of the Herald's blades are still good. Fucking Nail's blade, the one that Zeth got, is a psycho. I would take Maya over that one, Nimi, any day. But even then, Maya is different, and it traces back to Adolin and how he treats her. And it's what Shallan sees in Adolin. Shallan sees you have kindness when no one's watching. When you don't have to be someone for anyone, you are still kind. Which is why I like Adolin and Shallan together. And I think that there is something quite beautiful about Adolin. And I think, he's getting a little insecure that, his girlfriend, who he was a favor that he was marrying in a way, is now a Knights Radiant and, so powerful and is like literally 3 women plus in one. And he's seeing her become more and more powerful. Like, God, Yasna's amazing. Oh my God, her in battle was so cool. I would bend the knee for Yasna in a heartbeat, or 10 of them. That was just, cool. But Adolin is very, very kind. I think Kaladin's got a lot of chips on his shoulder to kind of like, he's too busy saving everyone to kind of, it's like compulsive. It's not a kindness, it's a necessity, whereas Adolin has space for, I guess, a kindness. Darren says he's treating Maya better than the Shadesmar Spren are treating Deadeyes. There you go. Yeah. Maybe it's that thing as well, like when we were looking at American Gods, where gods are they're more powerful the more worship that they have, because Adolin is acknowledging this Deadeye. Like, it gives her more power, more purpose, more accessibility to it. I don't know. I have a feeling that's going to be a TBD as well. We're going to learn more about it in the next book. Hey Basil, real quick, I don't mean to call you out here, but I can see everyone's you can put a new thing on Discord, like a symbol and words next to it. Who are you cheating on me with, Baz? Who's eyes up? Your name is your name in the chat. Everyone's rocking a love heart with
no
NBC. Oh yeah, what's that? We gotta talk about this.
No. Nobody.
Okay. I could have let it go. We have 4 minutes to talk about so many things, but I just Greg, you too, buddy. Dino, that's cool. It's cool. Everyone else's love hearts, NBCs look so pretty. I don't even know what they're called. What is that called? What is that called in Discord? It's a tag. There's tags in Discord. Better be a cool Discord is all I'm saying. Anyway, and Greg goes, lol, sprung. Jeff says, I hope the priest from Princess Bride marries them. Marriage is what brings us together today. I had to do that impersonation. Jeff, your bloody mic's off. I was doing that one for you. She's drawing from him instead of the other way around, says Knight. It's like a reverse bond. Oh. KP Dubs, who else do you want to talk about? Academic, yes, what's up?
Rock picked up the shard bow and saved Kaladin. He had to save him, but he took a life, and he ends with him basically.
Was it alive? Was it technically a life? Because Amaram gave up his life for that gemstone to be corrupted. I would argue not an actual death. It was to him anyway. Good point. That was such a badass moment though, because like it came out the back of his mouth when Kaladin's like here, and it's like, and then it went through his chest and ruptured the gemstone that had taken over his heart. And like even Kaladin's like, how did he fire a shade bow? How is he strong enough to do that? Shard bow, sorry, Shadesmar, shard bow, Kaladin, Adolin, Gavilar. Dalinar. If anyone was listening to this, like, what the hell? Academic, we've already lost you, but I know you had your hand up.
Rock is like a giant.
Rock is massive. Cavalier Dalinar. Shot through the gem heart and Rock's to blame. Oh, great. Oh, that's good stuff. Shot to the heart. Gem heart. The biceps on him to be able to pull it back twice, though, says Forlorn. Yes, Academic.
Yes, sorry about that. So I was listening on my drive, picking up the kids. I had something to say about Maya and Shallan and all of them together. So we were just talking. One of the things I said that you mentioned last week was Shallan's really getting into these characters' mind, body
and spirit. Yes.
Yes, and I said, what does she know? So we sort of see all of these like themes play out not only in Shallan's story, but like in a more real sense with how Dalinar's powers are manifesting.
Yeah.
And what Shadesmar is, right? So we have the body, the physical realm, that's where people are normally like acting. We have Shadesmar, which is the cognitive realm, and then there is the
spiritual realm.
Spiritual realm, which is where yeah, exactly. And so that's what Dalinar's power is. And so that's what I was like, oh, she knows these different things that are coming together here. And I think how Maya and the Deadeyes in general seem to be operating is like they do seem to not operate as typical Spren, but they aren't like dead, right? Like
so you think they're one of the three? They're just cognitive instead of spiritual and physical?
Well, no, because we see Syl and we see Pattern manifest in the cognitive realm in Shadesmar, but
why is Syl wanted?
You're gonna have to read Rhythm before.
Syl, you naughty girl. What has she been up to? Okay. Sorry.
Damsel in distress type things, you know. But yeah, no, there are that spiritual part is where I think the Deadeyes kind of are. Like for that, and that's why they're dead, is because like their thing that would sort of exist in the cognitive realm is, but that's just a theory.
Okay.
Film theory.
I like that. You're right. Like we could talk about the cognitive realm, how Syl changes to be fully fledged, like adult size. How Patton becomes its own entity. How we do see Maya for the first time. She snuck away to find Cal against Stormfather's orders. Yeah, there's some sort of. She's following the heart for sure. He has since forgiven her. Is she like a clumsy Jar Jar? Says Toaster Poster. Who are you talking about? And if that can't be Maya. Who is you talking? Who's a clumsy Jar Jar? Oh. It says it in the book, says Jeff. She took off and bonded Cal without permission. She hunted him down on the wind. Because Syl was too young and still broken from her previous binding. That's the thing. It's like the memory of previous bindings. Sorry, I faded out for a bit. Okay, got it. Okay. Anything else you want to talk about, KP?
Wit is going into the town, and he's like, man, if Reyes knew I was here, he would destroy this whole town. Those are from the epigraphs when he was writing, when there was some letters going back. Reyes was mentioned, and he's mentioned as he's contained, he's imprisoned, and we want no part of his prison. All that implies Odium is this race, and this place is his prison. He doesn't care about the Parsh or the humans. He just wants out of jail.
Well, hold on. What are you talking about with race?
Race is Odium, and he's a member of this higher, bigger galactic community that Wit had been writing to get help. And they're
Wit
all like,
was writing to Odium?
Oh, writing to all these other worlds.
Oh, right.
You're gonna have to go back and reread all the epigraphs from, I think.
Well, you posted them in the Google Doc, so they're right there for me.
Exactly. Well, actually, I got them in Discord. If you give me a minute, I can find these.
Oh, that's right. You put them in the... Yes, academic?
Those letters at the prologues of those chapters, KP, are like back and forth, specifically with one entity that we know if we've
named Fendrius. So my suspicion, and I could be wrong, is that is Wit's other name. And so one person says, damn, I need my glasses. Mustn't worry yourself about race. It is a pity about Aona and Sky, but they were foolish, violating our pact from the very beginning. And then in another letter, they also say...
Jeff, more than half of the people in the chat are wearing glasses, just so you know.
We need not suffer the interference of another. Race is contained, and we care not for his prison. So 2 different letters mention race.
And the prison, the prison is this new
whole planet somehow.
Got it. Okay, yeah, all that stuff goes over my head because I'm listening to it, and if it's not making sense, it's not tangible, if it's not something, like I don't get to sit and ponder, it's already on to the next part. So I'm like, cool, someone will tell me what that means if it's important.
There was a good chunk of the prologues that it's specifically talking to a character from Mistborn, the Mistborn trilogy, that we've met already.
Who?
Harmony / Sazed.
I'm looking straight at Lisa. Sazed. The archivist himself. Interesting. P-Boy Art 14. Thank you for the follow just now. Welcome to Moore's Book Club. We're wrapping things up. Can I just say, Oathbringer done. Love it. Fantastic. We've got a bonus book and we've got 1 week to read it. The good news is it's not too many pages. Tim, how many pages is the book in your hand? And how is it so far? It looks like you're nearly kind of done. Unmute. Oh, wow. Jay Buntrock's also reading it. right now in the club. How are you finding it, Jay Buntrock? Give me a spoiler-free first impressions. I might wear these glasses tonight. They're a bit dirty, but...
I'm on page 2, so
hell
good
yeah!
1 page so far.
Tim, you gotta unmute. Oh, I muted you because you were rustling around. I'll do it. I'll do that. Yeah, go on.
The absolute disrespect.
I was waiting for more audacity, but we'll do disrespect. Sure, fine.
I just started chapter 23, so I'm on page 206.
How many
of
are there?
200 and not counting the prologue piece written by the author, his notes, acknowledgments, 258 pages.
So
I've got about 52 pages left.
So it's 280 pages. You've got a week to read all of those. First impressions of the book, Tim? It's Kaiju Preservation Society, by John Scalzi.
Since I'm gonna miss the chat next week,
Yeah.
I will just tell you, for me right now, this book is a solid 3
out of 5. Okay, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I've got some issues that I noted in Fable. They made Pauline laugh.
Okay.
And I'll put them in the document because I can't talk about them. If I talk about them now, it'll be spoilers.
Got it.
I'll put them in the doc, and you guys can talk about them when I'm not around, and I won't be there to explain why.
Got it. Well, you've got access to the doc, and I can read it out on the day and share your thoughts that way. Vanessa's already read it. Oh, no, reading it. I love it. I'm really enjoying it. Colleen says it's 5 hours on Audible. I'm actually going to try and read a book in between that. I'm going to read the Blood on Brighthaven. Blood on Brighthaven? What is that bloody book called? Over. Thank you, Lisa. She's like, oh, it's over. Blood Over Brighthaven is the book that I'm struggling through only because of the narrator. Oh, man, I'm probably going to meet her one day. And I'm going to be like, I'm so sorry to say to the internet many times that you've ruined several books for me. But here we are. It's my problem, and I'll push through. So I'm going to read that one. Robin says I have to read a second book for next week as well for another book club. Who are you cheating on me with, Robin?
Dun, dun, dun.
My local library.
Oh, I'll allow it.
And I'm by far the youngest person in this book.
Oh, I love. What's that? What book are you doing for that one?
The Devotion of Suspect X.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck for that one. P-Boy says, so we're doing a book club on stream? I love this. We sure are, P-Boy. Just for a bit of back history, Maude's book club in its first iteration was December 2013, where I was reading all of these fantasy books that I liked, and I started reaching out to the authors, and I would do a very similar thing, but I would do a Google Meet with like 2 of my Geek Bomb staff members and 2 diehard fans. And these were supposed to go for an hour, and more often than not, they'd go for like nearly 2. And that was Patrick Rothfuss, Ernie Klein, Brent Weeks from the Night Angel trilogy. There was a bunch of different authors. Scott Lynch. I got Scott Lynch for, he's not doing any press, any interviews anymore. So I did all that like 10 years ago. And then I joined SourceFed, and that all stopped. But then I joined Nerdist's book club for their paywall show called Alpha Book Club, and I did that from 2016. And then by 2020 it became Nerdist's book club, and then by 2018, 19 I decided to do Geek Bomb's book chat. And then 2023 I completely rebranded my geek company called Geek Bomb to Maude's Book Club in a bid to try and educate people on books and to get people to read more sci-fi and fantasy. And we do one main book that's usually split over 1 and 2 parts on stream, where we talk about it for 2 hours. And then we have a bonus book as well. There are really cool perks that you can look up on patreon.com/Maude's Book Club. Where you've got access to the members chat on Discord. You get questions submitted to authors that I'm interviewing. And this time around, I'm playing with the big league. I'm interviewing Pierce Brown, Brandon Sanderson, other really, really cool authors. I try to get authors from the books that we're reading if they're still alive and if they're still wanting to do that. And you get to ask directly. No. Why does my brain do that? It's just like, stop. And I'm like, okay. No.
It's okay. Words are hard sometimes.
Words are hard. Words of radiance. I will ask your question directly if you're a member and you submit the questions. It's the glasses. They're making me more silly. We ask the authors questions directly. Yeah, something like that. Stop, collaborate, and listen. So there's lots of cool things with this book club. But if you are wanting to read more sci-fi fantasy, our next bonus book is Kaiju Battle. No, that's Matt Dinnerman. Kaiju Preservation Society by John Scalzi. We're doing our meet this time next week, actually 5 p.m. till 7 p.m. PT. And then not long after that, I think it's the next day, I'm going to be interviewing John Scalzi for that. And then, it's set in Australia for realsies?
No, I'm just joking.
Oh, cool. And then next month, we're going to be tackling The Will of the Many by James Islington, who's an Aussie author. And our bonus book will be Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins, who's done all of the Hunger Games series. We're locking in the rest of the year. October, we'll have some spoopy. We'll have a Michael Crichton Prey book. And we're doing Dresden Files book 7 as our bonus book. November, I think we're going to do the Bobiverse. December, we're going to be doing Rhythm of War. Pretty much 90% locked. The only other things is I'm locking in more authors, and I want you guys to read their books before we do the Q&A, because I will be reading the books before the Q&A. And there's another first time, like a book content creator who's written a book, and apparently it's pretty good, and I wanted to interview him about that as well, but maybe we could just do the top 5 and mention his book as one of the 5 like we did another time. I'll believe it when we finish them, says Jeff. Look, I have a habit of, if I lock in an author, I want to cover their book, and they just happen to lock it in sooner than later. Oh, good. More TBR. Exactly. Anyway, I gotta go real fast. Thanks everyone for watching. Homework, read Kaiju Preservation Society, and I'll see you in the Discord. Scroll up. It's right there. Nightbot tells you. Discord.gg/Maude Garrett. Lots of chat. Scalzi's got a new book. Oh, crap. Scalzi's got a new book. It's not out yet. But I got it. I got it sent. I was like, I want to interview John. Cool, can you talk about the new book that's coming out? Sure, we'll send it to you, they said. Great. For a decade. No, I've got to go. Gotta go, guys. See everyone. Look it up. This is his new book. We'll be chatting about it. What is this bindery thing? Head over binderybooks.com, search Maude's Book Club. I've got a new page there. If we get enough people on Bindery, I can print books, guys. I can publish people's books. So get over there. What is that called? An ARC? It is an advanced reader copy. Usually they'll say it on the... Yeah, there it is. It says uncorrected advanced reader